Soon and very soon, we are gonna see the home. Hello, y'all. It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles, and it's Wednesday, the 4th of February, AD 2026. And you can call in, some of you already on hold, to get on air with the Hake of the Hake Report. I'm James Hake, James Anton Hake, not to be confused with the ceramics artist or whatever that other people are, you know, because there are other James Hakes in the world, and I don't represent them. I don't even represent myself, okay? So take everything that you hear, think, see, and interpret with a grain of salt. I'm such a boomer. I don't know how to do this. Because info may be false, and my attitude may be false, and, you know, all kinds of different things. Such a boomer. And shout out to the boomers. 07 for a salute, y'all, is the goal. I'll read your super chats. You can super chat via buymeacoffee.com/the Hake Report, or via YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube live, you can do the buy me a coffee thing even after I'm not live, or before I go live, or during, and I do try to check it and stay on top of the coffees. You're taking a risk if you do a other platform, you know. It is a risk because I may not see it for days or months, but I try to be better. You know, be better. But I do have a Ko-fi, Ko-fi, Ko-fi. Ko-fi.com/the Hake Report, or Cash App. James Anton Hake. James Anton Hake on Cash App. And other ways, all right? So nice, whatever, who cares? You can watch on YouTube, as many of you guys are. You can watch on Rumble, of course. You can, you're welcome to watch on Punchie.tv/Hake, which does seem to be working, as well as Facebook and X, I presume. Yes, indeed. And other platforms. Pilled.net, it's a veteran-owned platform. Shout out Pilled. Punchie TV is going to be happening after Anchor Baby today. Look at all those treats. Terrible. I wonder why the volume is so low. Let me just make sure that the volume is working. Yes, indeed. Crazy stuff going on in this old here world. What's up, Rumble crew? And D-Live, the redheaded stepchildren. My Odyssey, ODYSEE, was spotty yesterday. I will read your coffees. I did see some coffees come in. All right. Greggatron gave one yesterday. Popcorn gave a long one, apparently just this morning. As well as Ego is Real.
Losing your religion.
Nice.
Down in the South.
Nice.
Means getting mad. Did you know?
What is Hake saying? Let's hear.
This means getting PO'd. Put out. PO'd means put out, kids. It doesn't mean pissed off.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I disclaim, don't say that word, kids. Terrible. I didn't know I said that. Anyway, y'all, I got to get started here. So let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how y'all doing? I am fine. I did wear my a rayon t-shirt. I'm doxing my t-shirt, my shirt material. It's almost kind of like a t-shirt. It is button up, button all the way down. But it's supposed to be 86 degrees today, which is 30 Celsius. I know you Celsius centigrade, not commies. I almost said Nazis. Don't have a concept of Fahrenheit, and we don't hardly have a concept of Celsius, except I've picked up that 40 is hot. 30 is plenty warm, though. 86 degrees, 30 centigrade, or Celsius, whatever. So that's why I wore this shirt. And plus, I like to dress up sometimes because we have Punchie TV today. PUNCHIE.TV. Love, what did I do? And let me show that to you by clicking right over down here. And you can see on the HakeReport.com, I have the JLP show from today. What is Zionism? We asked on the JLP show. Punchie TV, episode 74, today, 2 p.m. Pacific. Figure it out if you're somewhere else. GMT -8. And then, of course, the Hake Report right now. Supposedly happening right now. So, nice. I won't tell you where I got this shirt. Well, I shall decline to tell you. I want to talk with Haden out of Texas, who's on the line over here. Haden, thank you for calling, sir. Let me hear you pronounce your name, Haden.
My brother Hake. Happy Black History Month.
Indeed, man. Happy Black History Month to you. My brother Haden.
My brother Hake.
Do you call it Haden or Haden?
They both sound the same to me.
Okay,
I'd say
nice.
Haden.
Right on.
I told your guy to call me Dindu.
For Black History Month?
Yeah, in honor of Black History Month.
Right. Well, that's because Derek is a mature man, and mature men don't play.
Yeah.
But right on.
I guess so. I did it solely in honor of Black History Month. That's the only reason why I did it.
Of course.
You know, why else would I do it? Anyways.
You know what's funny is I hear more about Black History Month from the purported white people or whatever they are in the chat, you know, haters in the chat, than I hear from from black people. Although I did get 2 Black History calls yesterday. I don't know if you heard them.
No, I didn't hear them.
They were talking about black inventions and then honoring James Madison, who was a friend to a black man. Nice. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I really don't believe people take it seriously anymore.
I don't know that they ever did, because when I was growing up, I never heard about it. It must be sort of new that it became more and more and more adopted. And it's like a kiss-up culture. There are people who, it's kind of like Kwanzaa. Like, there's some niche people who are like really into it, and they tend to be more living in the children's academic world, and they push it on children in the grade school. But when I was going to grade school, we did not. It was a non-issue. It didn't even come up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
It wasn't too extreme when I was growing up, but I mean, I do remember spikes of it, I guess you'd say, of people taking it seriously and everything.
Yeah.
I really don't feel that anymore. People taking it as seriously as they used to.
And you're in your early to mid 20s, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in my mid 20s.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of going away. I hope they remove it completely. That'd be ideal. I know they're most likely not going to do that anytime soon, at least. But
I saw this report on the news on like Drudge back when they had a couple of weeks ago Martin Luther King Jr. Day, that Trump ignored it until like late in the day, and like under pressure he posted something. or something like that. I don't know.
I wonder if that's true.
Yeah, I wonder as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I enjoyed you and Mark's call yesterday. I wanted to talk about a few different things, but I forgot some of them. But I called in about the devastating news about Sean Grayson.
Yeah.
That's a travesty, really.
Yeah, it was Sean Grayson being the cancer patient, I learned. The former police officer who had a controversial situation. Controversial because people saw what he did shooting that woman. And there are white people on both sides, white people who are generally fair-minded who disagree about the situation. Talking about David in Ocala thinks the man was wrong. He was evil towards that woman. And then he sees it as a man-woman issue, how men are mean to women. And then and police officers are like anger issues oftentimes, he says. And then Mark in Los Angeles sees it as what it also is, what it really is, I think, a sign of the attack upon whites, the undue, lynch mob mentality against white people, white cops.
No, who
and he got 20 years for killing that woman who looked like she was allegedly going to throw some hot water on him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So who did you say said he was in the wrong? One of your callers?
Beautiful David out of Ocala, or strapping young man, not that young, but boomer, Gen Xer, David in Ocala.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See,
normally David is turning racist because they're turning him racist because he says because they're so like ridiculous against the whites and ridiculous in general with their behavior, these people of color in the media and all that. But in this case, he believes that it was justice that the police officer got caught a murder charge, some type of a murder charge, 3rd degree, whatever. For shooting that woman to death in her home when she had called the police over like a prowler, an alleged prowler. They didn't find the prowler. They asked her for her ID, and she was so cagey and weird about that. And then he's like, "Would you turn off that hot water? I don't want whatever, because it was on the stove." And then she grabbed the water and was saying, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And I don't know if that was some type of anti-white, anti-cop type of, or anti-man type of mentality that so many women and black people have, or what. But he pulled a gun on her and he said, "I'll shoot you in the blinking face." And after he shot her, he said that crazy B word or something to that effect. And he was, I don't know if it looked like it might have been reasonable that he was concerned for his, bodily harm, because hot water is nothing to sneeze at.
Well, because you can get seriously hurt with that.
The other cop said that he did not fear for his life, and I don't know if he said that under duress or if he sincerely meant that. But the other cop was not near her, so of course he wouldn't necessarily be as afraid as Sean Grayson, who had stepped toward her and told her to put the hot water down. He pulled that gun on her, and
it seemed like Sean Grayson was the only one talking to her, really.
Right. Yeah, and so he got 20 years, and he has like stage 3, now stage 4, all these crazy cancers down in like his bowels or whatever. And
man, I didn't hear about that. That's too bad.
His lawyers were trying to get him leniency for it, and I don't know if because he was like, yeah, she was threatening me. That was what he was saying, and then afterwards, maybe before the sentencing, he expressed regret, and he said he made a lot of stupid decisions. And I think both of those things are true, because there's looking back in hindsight, there's other ways to deal with that situation, I suppose, of course. And also, she was crazy. She was like kind of potentially a threat.
Well, see, I think it was justified. Do you know what that case reminds me of?
Which one? What case does it remind you of?
The boiling water case reminds me of the Renegade situation.
Yeah, where
Where
people don't realize, outside onlookers of the body cam footage or whatever, don't realize the danger, the
right.
potential danger.
I think the ICE officer was justified in doing what he did, and
Yeah,
I think
so
Sean
too.
Grayson was justified in doing what he did.
Yeah, I
It was
definitely think that it
self-defense.
was arguably justified. It was certainly looked a little questionable, but ultimately I think that it could have been justified.
But both cops gave both suspects, they're not victims, suspects,
Yeah.
multiple chances to do the right thing.
Right.
And both of their lives were in danger. So I mean, they did the right thing, and you know, it's a shame that Sean Grayson's been through it. I hope Trump gains consciousness or whatever, and seriously, gains consciousness and pardons Grayson. And what
those
about
are state
Chauvin?
charges? I'm pretty sure. I don't think the feds even necessarily got involved, so I don't think Trump can.
I know that.
Yeah. But go ahead.
But what about Chauvin too? I mean, these guys are
Same
both
thing.
undeniably
go
political
ahead.
prisoners.
Right.
And,
yeah, the motivation, I mean, you can see the energy behind it is this anti-white, pro-black, and by pro-black it's really anti-black, honestly, because this is emboldening the anti-cop squirreliness that gets them killed, you know? So that's evil.
Right.
And it's encouraging blacks to hate and feel like victims, and that's evil. So what a mess. Yeah.
They've turned this entire thing into race when we used to, and we still do, judge them by the content of the character.
Right.
And they flipped it. Oh, you shot her because she was black. No, it's because she didn't put the pot down.
Yeah.
And she was in motion, about to lunge the pot at him. He wouldn't have shot her if that wasn't the case, you know. And the body cam footage proves that too.
Let me ask Grok, because I don't remember. It wasn't obvious to me when I can't remember. But you may be right.
Well, I saw the body cam footage. It was clear as day to me.
Yeah.
And he said, "Put it down," and she just lunged it at him. And that's when he took the shots, just like with Renee Good.
I'll ask a simple question. Was Sonia Massey holding the hot water when she was shot? Yes, she was holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or had been holding and appeared to lift it again, a pot of boiling or hot water. Yep. According to multiple counts from body cam footage. Yep. Okay.
And yet Grayson has to serve 20 years in prison.
Yeah. It is crazy to that the woman is dead. But you're right. I mean, her behavior contributed to that situation.
He gave her chances.
Yeah.
And now she joined MLK and HE double hockey sticks.
Terrible.
Because of her actions.
And he's in jail too. So he too, especially knowing the situation on cops and white cops especially, you have to be cooler headed and wise, because we can claim all day that he's justified and he's a political prisoner, but that doesn't do him any good, really. So you got to, as a cop and as a man, and in general, white people, we all have to be cool-headed and smart.
Right.
Because the more out of control they are, the more perfect we have to be. And he was not perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, no one's perfect, but
right.
I mean,
but we have to be perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
we got to walk around with halos on.
Yep.
But I mean, law enforcement really is the number one target, because of course, this with the minorities who they deal with all the time, because they commit the majority of the crime, and they were the ones that required cops to wear body cameras on whenever they're in situations with them or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing but backfire on the minorities.
I know. It ends up proving that they're wrong, except that they're not good judges of what they're looking at. And so they think that, even seeing the same people can see the same footage, and even nice, fair-minded people like David and Ocala can fall for it.
Yeah.
So, it's this body cam footage is not necessarily enlightening to people who have a dark, emotional mind.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
And
man.
they'll usually get like for example, this whole Don Lemon thing that's going on, he may get away with it solely because he's a black guy. That's the only way he'll get away with it.
Sorry, I got distracted. I was reading the D Live chat about I have an ongoing beef with a guy over whether I'm Irish or Scottish.
Oh my God!
So, but anyway,
they're both white.
Yeah, I know, but Irish, we don't count them as normal white because Irish have issues.
Oh.
Because I have an ongoing beef with Irish people, and
do you?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you not think Conor McGregor's white?
I do, but he's sort of, you know how Nick Fuentes says that he's Irish and Mexican or Italian?
Yeah, I think he's Italian.
Irish, Italian, and white Hispanics. Those three groups out of all of the whites are the most brash, say the N-word, say whatever derogatory thing, get into fights, start riots, speak your mind. Not that our future president gets into fights, okay? But I'm just saying that they have the least amount of white guilt out of the normal whites, if you will, if you can want to call them normal. They have they have fewer qualms about fighting with the blacks and with the police and stirring up trouble, whereas the WASPs, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants who are not Catholic, and we're more calm and fearful, which is not good, but quiet, and we're kind of Asian in that we go Caucasian in that we go along with society and aren't so necessarily defiant openly and attract attention, whereas they say N-words and things like that and get the rest of us into trouble. So I don't know.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
Irish people are fireheads. I will give you that.
It's a double-edged sword. I appreciate them for it, but I also resent them for it. So anyway,
have you seen a picture of our you call him our future president?
Yeah.
You don't say his name, but have you seen a picture of his father? Like, he's a flat out Mexican.
That's funny. I didn't know that. But you know what? Italians too, they can be kind of dark skinned like that if they're from further south. They're kind of Sicilian or whatever.
I think his mom's Italian.
Oh, okay. So his dad is full blown Mexican. That's funny.
That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah.
In the picture, if the picture I saw was him, then yeah, he's like full blown Mexican.
Let's see, Nick Fuentes' dad. Since you brought it up.
Yeah.
Bill William Fuentes. Nice name. At least it's a white name.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Mexican American heritage.
It's not like Alejandro or anything.
He used to avoid Applebee's and Red Lobster because he believed they were associated with black clientele. Fair.
I heard that.
That's fair. Let's see images.
I heard him say that.
Is that him? I don't know, man. I Bill William. Is this him?
Can you not tell?
Is he? I don't know. I'm not trying to dox his parents,
Yeah.
I don't know. If he's a public figure, I'm okay with it, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is this him?
I can't see it right now.
Yeah, I don't know. This is New York City, boys. I don't know. Let's leave it alone. But yeah, shout out. A lot of Mexicans are really pro-white and anti-Jew-ish. Or not a lot, but many. Actually, or they're not even pro-white, but they are anti-Jew and anti-Israel because they kind of hate white people, and Israel kind of goes hand in hand, Interesting. Right on.
Yeah, I feel like the majority of the world is anti-Jew and anti-Israel. I really do.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a worldly hatred for Jews in Israel now, and that's a good thing. It really is.
You think so?
I believe, wholeheartedly, I believe that. Yeah.
I think that I think it's one of those things that's like a double-edged sword, man, because you can have your criticisms of them, but they end up the most militantly anti-Israel, pro-Palestine, for example, people have been for 12 years or more heavily involved with like Black Lives Matter and communism and anti-white stuff as well, and anti-Christian.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a good thing, because you think the Zionists are bad. Wait until you get the anti-Zionists. They're gonna be even worse against the whites.
You mean like the pro-Palestine people and stuff?
Yeah, because those are the ones who are gaining power, power, if you will. Although our future president he's undeniable. So
yeah,
you can't quash him. They haven't been able to squash him. He's only gotten more powerful.
Yeah.
In a worldly sense, and maybe even spiritually as well.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on the use of Zionism and anti-Zionism. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's undeniable that the pro-Palestine people, it's a joke that they're in our country in the first place.
Yeah, it really is.
So I mean, you know.
But they're entrenched.
I know they are.
Yeah.
But as long or if they're not on American soil, we should be fine. But it needs to be solved first before we can even speak on that.
Yeah, that's why I'm really happy about the deportations and things. Even though it's not enough yet, of course, I agree.
Right.
But never in my life have I seen or did I dream that there would be raids broadcast on TV and street mobs of ICE agents gathering people up, and that's cool. It's
I love it.
Yeah, I know that it may taper off. It may have to change tactics, but right on Trump and team.
Yeah, it's so satisfying to watch. I saw the thing on Facebook that said I'd rather watch 2 hours of mass deportations than the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, of course. Hey, did you want to talk with Ronnie in Ohio here?
Sure. Yeah.
Ronnie in Ohio, you're on with Haden. It looked like you might have a question or comment for him.
My brother Ronnie,
Hake,
what's
how
going
you
on?
doing? I appreciate you having me on, Hake.
Yes, sir.
My brother Ronnie, what's going on, man?
how you doing, Hayden?
Is Haden your brother, Ronnie?
I want to call him my brother, but one of the reasons that I asked to speak to him is because I have a question for him. He seems to think that black people don't have a right to live here in the United States, so I wanted to, one, get clarification on that, and then two, see if he does feel that way, see if he can explain why.
Sure. What do you want me to clarify?
Do black people have a right to live in the USA?
No.
Based on what?
And in what sense? Like, elaborate.
Well, I mean, I'll flip it. Do white people, by and large, have the right to exist in Africa?
Yeah.
Look at South Africa.
Yes, white people have the right to exist in different parts of Africa.
Well, no, by and large, do they?
It's hard to say that because there are 54 countries in Africa, and my question to you was about this one country of the United States.
Okay.
I noticed that in many African countries, to your point, Haden, that white people are under like an attack, especially in like South Africa, where they're not getting medical treatment or police protection or justice or whatever when they're getting abused, racially abused, some might say, to use a British commie term, by the black alleged criminals.
That's my point. That's why I brought it up. That's my point.
There's like a serious attack upon the white South Africans.
So Ronnie, what I'm saying is, if and when you all do become the majority, what's happening in South Africa is going to happen in America, and it's undeniable. It's undeniable. So I, for one, am taking the softer approach. I believe in remigration, and apparently, believe it or not, and I like this. The Trump administration also believes in remigration. They post about remigration all the time on their social media, on the DHS page quite a bit, and that's the approach I want. I don't want y'all to die. I think y'all have the right to exist in Africa or wherever any of the minority groups are from, just not in America. It's pretty clear that multiculturalism is a failure, has always been a failure, and it's never worked.
How about if they just remained a minority here? Would they have a right to remain here as a minority, Haden?
Well, they're a minority right now.
Right, but
and we see how that's going right now.
True, but before that, it wasn't quite the problem that it is now. Like if we went back to freedom instead of this forced integration, for example, would you be okay with that, or would you still say no? You all have to go back. All.
You mean like segregation?
Yeah.
Personally, no, because segregation led to where we are today. And we'll have a bunch of white liberal progressives who will.
What do you think about
their approach?
What do you think about the point that many of them have many generations here? They're very entrenched. They consider themselves American, even though a lot of them have the totally wrong ideas about America. But this has been home for centuries in some cases, or many generations.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying this because what's his name? John in Kentucky brought that point up as well when we last talked with each other, that he was born here. And I'm not saying this because you said it. I'm saying it because John in Kentucky said it.
Yeah.
I think that's a very lazy argument to say that because you were born here or you have a slip of paper that says you're an American. I think that's a very lazy argument. It's pretty clear by what John says, and even Ronnie, you like to sweeten it up a little bit, but it's pretty clear by the things y'all say that, and I know you'll deny it, but it's pretty clear that by the things you say that you're anti-white, you're anti-America. So I mean, just because you were born here and you have a slip of paper that says it does not mean that you are ethnically an American like Hake and I are.
You're an ethnic American?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, being an American is an ethnicity. It's a nationality, just like being an African.
And there's a big difference between nationality and ethnicity. So I'm still waiting to hear why black people don't have a right to exist or live here in the United States.
Well, to what I said a few minutes ago, do whites by and large have the right to live in African countries? And the answer is no.
That's not answering my question.
I'm saying the answer is no.
Since
right,
they are,
and I'm asking why. Why don't black people have the right to live in the United States? You're bringing up South Africa, and white people weren't slaves in South Africa for two centuries. The situation that's not even apples to apples. So rather than address or answer my question, you're kind of deflecting to something that isn't equal.
Well, no. So we've given you the same rights that we have. That's undeniable.
Rights. My rights come from God. White people can't give me my rights. But go ahead.
Well, did y'all have the right to vote before we gave it to you? Did you have the right to own property before we gave it to you?
That doesn't answer my question as to why black people don't have the right to live in the United States.
Y'all don't have the right to live here, but it's because y'all have destroyed America ever since we've given you rights. That's my answer. You hate America. I'm not saying you. Well, I mean, you may. I don't know. You may not admit it, but by and large, you minority groups hate America. You hate white people, and you hate what this country stands for. That's why y'all don't belong in America. Y'all would be far. I told Hake this. Y'all would be far right conservatives. Y'all would be nationalists if you were in the country where your ancestors came from. But when you come here to America, you want to act like you're liberals and confuse the white guilt-ridden whites into voting for whatever y'all want to do. Y'all would be far right conservatives in your country of origin, and that's undeniable.
I don't know if we would be far right conservatives, but especially most of the black people that I know, we are conservative. And
Well,
we're conservative we're conservative in the country that our ancestors were from. My ancestors got here before your ancestors got here.
okay, so, but you call yourself a liberal now in America, right?
I would not call myself a liberal. I've never called myself a liberal. I've never identified with it. Worldwide, I would say I'm a liberal only because I believe in those liberal tenements like free speech and sovereignty, the right to rule myself. But as far as being in the United States, the spectrum of liberal Democrats and conservative Republicans, that form of conservative and liberalism, no, I'm not a liberal.
Oh, so you're conservative?
I just said I'm conservative.
Oh, so you voted for Trump?
No. Being conservative doesn't mean that you're a Republican. There's a difference.
Oh, it is?
Yes, the same way there's a difference between nationality and ethnicity. I think you have a very limited worldview, and it's ignorant and it's sad. You accuse me of being anti-white and anti-American. I'm far from both of those things.
Okay. Well, we can agree to disagree on that. So
we won't agree to disagree. You're wrong and I'm right.
Okay. Well, you can say that, but in a meaning thing.
I'm the primary source. I'm the primary source, and I'm telling you the same way I've told other people. If you want to make assumptions about me based on my race, you're well within your right to be ignorant and choose ignorance. But when presented with correct information, you should be willing to accept it and change your mind. You don't have to.
Okay.
Though. It's a free country.
Yeah, I'm not going to either. Did you vote for Kamala Harris in 2024?
No, I did not.
Did you vote at all?
This is the third time that you asked me about my voting record. I loved America when people didn't discuss that type of stuff. You probably weren't around in that age, but there used to be a thing about going into the ballot booth and voting and nobody knowing who you voted for and you not ever having to discuss it. And then you would get the results that same night. This is a completely different climate that you've grown up in.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel sorry for you that you feel so comfortable in asking me who I voted for in this election and then proceeding to ask 4 or 5 follow-ups based on my personal voting record.
Well, the reason I asked is because I'm proud to say I voted for Trump twice. So why are you ashamed of saying who you voted for?
First, I'm not ashamed to say it. I said it's a matter of privacy. But I've also explained this over Hake's show a few times, so I'll run through it with you again. The first time I voted was for Obama in 2008, and I voted for him again in 2012. Did not vote for Hillary in 2016. I voted for Joe Biden in 2020, I didn't vote at all in 2024.
Wait, what did you say about Hillary? Did not vote for Hillary or did?
Did not.
Okay, so you did. Okay, interesting. Do you mind
I voted
saying
for everything else. I voted for everything else other than president in 2016. 2020, I voted for Biden because I was tired of dealing with the ramifications that happened in 2020 as a result of having Trump as president.
A conservative who voted for Obama twice and Hillary once and Biden once?
Yes, and let me say this. If you categorize people as conservative or liberal based on that one office, then you're being stupid because I've clearly voted for conservatives when it comes to other political positions that are far more effective than the president.
Interesting.
Wow.
And I'm in a state that voted for Trump 3 times. So even at the end of the day, even if I wanted Kamala as president, that wasn't going to happen.
Ohio. Who knew Ohio was based?
Home of J.D. Vance.
Oh.
As the country. Oh, so you're voting for,
really?
Somebody put it, you're voting for a race mixer when it comes to 2028?
I didn't say that. But I'm
asking Haden that. You voting for a race mixer in 2028?
I'm voting for a white man, yes. Yeah, I'm voting for a white man, yes, I am. But I heard, I forget who was, Hake was talking to about that, about not voting for Vance in 2028. I think that's crazy because why would you not vote and risk someone like Gavin Newsom, AOC, Kamala Harris to be voted in again? We would never have our country back if one of those people got back in power.
No, JD is probably better than Bush, JD. Right?
I like JD.
Although Bush is a little bit
Bush.
Although Bush is a little bit more. Has that manly forcefulness, perhaps, is sort of imitation, whereas JD he's kind of like that millennial sort of pushover. I know that it's kind of ridiculous to call Bush manly, but
well, he was during the time he was, but again, I don't think that I disagree, Hake. I think I agree with a lot of what J.D. Vance says, despite him being a race mixer. But I mean, you know, he's overall he's based. I mean, he agrees with a lot of what Trump says. I agree with the majority of what Trump says, aside from what he says about, you know, Israel stuff, obviously. But I mean,
So the only person that I can recall who, in his own book, referred to Trump as being the next Hitler is somebody you will vote for, and he's also a race mixer.
Hey, I'll vote for that.
I'm glad to know that those aren't deal breakers for you.
Wait, what?
Being black or being female is a deal breaker.
Well, depends on the black, but
I'm talking about just specifically for Haden. I know you got a little bit more sense, Hake, so that's why the question was kind of directed at Haden.
I missed part of the conversation. I was chatting with my.
No, he said that J.D. Vance said in his book he compared Trump to Hitler.
Right.
I said I'll vote for that all day, any day.
Right. So so
right.
Those qualifications or those characteristics rather of Vance, those aren't deal breakers. But if somebody is a Democrat, if they're black or if they're female, those are deal breakers for you.
Well, I just told you
you're afraid of losing your country.
Well, for sure, but I just told you I would never vote unless he changes. I would never vote for Gavin Newsom.
Right.
He's just as terrible as Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
He's just they're all equal.
I said if somebody's a Democrat, if they're black or if they're female, Gavin Newsom's a Democrat. So I understand why he's a deal breaker.
Let me read a couple super chats before I gotta go with you, Haden.
Sure.
I have some callers who kind of want to talk to Ronnie, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But Moses Props gave a couple super chats saying, "What is the guy talking about? LOL. You people had the country and you gave it away through greed and not following God. Get mad at those people who did that to you. It's not a black or white thing. It's a sin and hate issue. Got to get back to Christ. Love the guy, but you seem a little off." That seems directed at Haden from Moses.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. It was white liberal progressives that got us to where we are today. And I cannot stand them just as much as I can't stand the minority groups, just as much as I can't stand the Jays. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it because, you know, they say it as a slur sometimes. It's like the N-word, but
yeah, I know. But I get your point.
Yeah, but the reason why we're in the spot we are today is because of white liberal progressives.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Haden, though. Most whites are conservative on some level, not progressive.
They are.
And most of us conservatives have gotten more and more, quote unquote, progressive because conservative just means you fall for the liberalism a little later and slower.
Right. I agree with that.
We've turned pretty communist. I don't know. You probably were raised a little anti-racist, was my guess, before you realized that this thing was a little kind of fake.
He got completely rebellious against that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my family, we really didn't talk about the whole race thing. Honestly,
me neither.
We just
mine neither. But we were just fair to everybody. We didn't care.
Yeah, and like honestly, we didn't talk. We really didn't talk about politics. I knew that my parents voted for Trump and stuff.
By raised, I mean like in school, and just in general, we were raised in an anti-racist culture, which is to say,
we really didn't talk about it that much.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, I agree with that super chat. Hey, Hake,
but he says the super chatter says with another follow up, if he listened to Jesse, he would not be talking like this, something like that.
Like what?
Hate-filled.
Would you characterize yourself as hate-filled there, sir?
No, I don't hate anyone. I strongly dislike and disagree.
But a strong dislike and disagree suggests that there's like an energy behind it. And having an energy behind it is a manner of passion or hate or emotion.
And about 15
Well, yeah,
minutes
I would
ago,
definitely say
you
passion.
said the world was becoming more anti-Israel and anti-Jew, and you labeled that as a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. That's a good thing for y'all too, because they use y'all as pawns, Ronnie.
It's not good for other humans to hate other humans.
No, I mean I've been on record. I may have slipped up and said it today. I apologize if I did, but I've been on record saying I don't hate anyone. Ronnie. I don't hate you. I don't hate John in Kentucky. I strongly dislike the things y'all say. I completely disagree with the things y'all say. I believe that y'all are that y'all are aware that you're lying about the things you say. That's all. I don't hate anyone. I just strongly disagree and strongly dislike the things that y'all say and believe, I guess you would say.
I better
one day I'll be interested to hear you quote me on it. I've heard you try to summarize some of the things that I've said incorrectly and then attack that argument. So hopefully one day you can quote me on something that I've said that you feel is wrong or that you disagree with, and we can chop it up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you called in several times, but I can't think of anything on top of my head. But
well, it seems like both of you guys deny hating.
But,
yeah,
I don't
accuse each other of hating. Nice. But I gotta go. Good to hear from you, Haden. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I'll send you a coffee with the video. I'd like for you to share if possible.
Thanks, man.
Just short clip.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you much. Goodbye.
Right, bye. And Ronnie, Mark wants to talk with you.
Yep, I got time today.
Mark, I want to keep this kind of brief because it's getting long. But Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, let's cut through the crap. Ronnie's not a conservative. He voted for Obama. Subject closed. He can deny it. He can say
no, I'm gonna stop you there. You don't close the subject on somebody.
No.
Hold on, let me stop
well, let him finish.
You are a liberal and a
you
white
can't
hater.
say somebody is a liberal or a conservative based on
Obama,
one office that
you're
they're
a liberal and a white hater. Okay, so let's cut the crap.
You're wrong again.
No, I'm not wrong. You said you voted for Obama, right?
That doesn't mean that I hate white people.
That means
That's one hell of a jump, Mark.
People, and you are a liberal. So let's cut the crap.
I'm not a liberal, so you're wrong again.
To push Haden around, but I'm not going to put up with your crap. You hate white people. You voted for Obama. You people have never created a civilization in the history of the world. You're destroying the white race here, and you're destroying America. We had the Exclusionary Act of 1790. Okay, that means white only. And there
what happened in 1802?
And they were slaves. They were 2/3 of a person. So
what happened in 1802?
America is a racist country. Let's cut the crap.
Exclusionary Act of 1802.
What?
So what you keep taking you cover like 6 different categories rather than try to take it bite by bite.
And time is a factor.
You mentioned the Exclusionary Act of 1791. I asked you what about the one that came out in 1802? And what about the one that came about in 1870?
Let's not jump the subject. Let's stick with the.
You've jumped to 6 subjects. I'm trying to zoom in on that one.
That was the first Congressional Congress. Those were the founding fathers. They were racist by your standards, and I feel. If they were racist and they founded this country, there's nothing wrong with wanting to deport you people back to your homeland. You've never created a civilization in the history of the world. You could pretend like you did. You could tell your fairy tales. But we see what happened in Chicago. We see a black-dominated city in Baltimore. And what do we see in Minneapolis? Fraud by your people, the Negro from Somalia. So get off your high horse.
I'm not from Somalia. Why would you say those are my people if I'm not from Somalia?
Oh, no, they're your people. Oh, yeah. They all come
I'm not Somalian, so how can they be my people?
The continent of Africa. They're part of your people.
So if somebody's from the continent that your super ancestors are from, then they're your people?
Repeat that?
You being real stupid, Mark.
Oh, come on. All you got is insults? That's
not an insult. I think you're being.
Mark, he said
that you're being stupid is not me calling you stupid. Don't be so offended.
That's an insult, and you've got a low IQ.
The point is, Mark, Ronnie. Let me repeat what Ronnie said. He said, "My super ancestors, meaning way ancestors, are from the continent of Africa, And so that makes the Somalis my people?
They're all Negroes. They fall under the race of Negro.
Ronnie,
there are
to
three
his
races.
point, Ronnie, let me jump in. To his point, that woman who went viral talking about the bananas and rice, the Somali gal who with the Valley girl accent, she's all, I'm Somali, but I'm still black. And I've suffered racism here in Minnesota, wherever. And so she's jumping in on the black thing.
You see how he wants to separate from the Somalis?
And the racism
he doesn't want them, even though they're his people. He's trying to deny his own people.
I don't think of them as his people, but
I literally
they're trying
asked
the racism thing.
I
all
asked a specific question on how they are my people according to you, and we just walked through it. You basically say that anybody that identifies as black or anybody that is a Negroid is my people. That's what you're saying?
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Especially when they have that
Joe
mindset
Biden is your people. Why don't you get your people under control? The
My
white
people
liberal
aren't
that Haden was just talking about that destroyed this country, why don't you get your people under control?
You guys haven't invented a wheel yet. Did you hear me? We put a man on the moon, and you guys haven't even invented a wheel yet.
You don't think black people had anything to do with getting a man on the moon?
Absolutely not.
I saw Hidden Figures.
Stupid.
I saw those three
stupid,
gals.
Mark.
See, that's just name calling. Look at who the scientists
you're not stupid.
were.
You're being
no,
stupid.
That's
There's
name
a difference.
calling. Okay, look at who the scientists were at NASA.
No, you guys are straying away from the subject. I don't care about inventions. I want to talk about the mindset of blackness that woman has, the Somalis have, coming in here and crying racism, just like the blacks do. There's a problem there.
Well, that's because they are black. Are you going to tell me Somalis are not Negroes?
They are, and they're jumping in on the racism thing. Ronnie, deal with that aspect rather than...
He knows it. He knows what he's saying. He knows what he's advocating, and he keeps it under wraps like he's a nice guy and just wants white people to be left alone.
Because Ronnie,
I would love to have a moment to jump in.
Yes,
Go ahead.
The issue is, one of the major issues that white people are sick of, and I think normal blacks are too, that black people do wrong and commit fraud or come here illegally or just in general are a nuisance. They cry racism to get out of trouble and act like they're not the problem. And they're just contributing even more problem by crying racism. You follow that?
Yes, I don't understand what your question is for me, though.
I don't know if my question is, it's kind of like that is Haden's primary beef with the blacks, too, that the blacks are here and they're not just like humble, pro-America, pro-white blacks. They're like anti-white blacks crying racism when like the problems are coming out of black communities and it's spilling over into white communities and everything. And then they're crying racism over it.
The sad thing is you could be talking to a black person that is pro-America and loves people despite what their race is, and then you could still accuse that person of being anti-white and anti-America.
You're referring to us accusing you of being anti-white and anti-America?
Not y'all. It would be Mark and Hake. I'm
Hake.
Mark and Haden because I'm sure that you, Hake, you know better. We've had extensive conversations.
Okay, I could name a black man who's pro-American. That would be Jesse Lee Peterson. And what do you people call him? Uncle Tom. That's how you people
treat. What are you talking about?
You do say that he tap dances.
I see what's happening here. Hold on, I see what's happening here. Mark is upset with a lot of other black people, and he's trying to take his anger out on me, and he wants me to explain it or justify it. And I'm not here for that. If you want to talk to me about if you want to talk to me about my views and the things that I've said, I'm cool with that. But if you want to get on here and bloviate and complain about black people and then try to make me speak for them, you are an idiot for that.
Well, I think this is the point. I think this is the bottom line here. If I can jump in, Mark, is that this is why the whites who are like fantasizing about sending the black people back are like that, because that mindset is all too common. And even though you say that you don't support that mindset, you voted for a guy who supported that mindset and enabled that mindset, Obama.
If you say so.
Yeah. So like that's why that's like the motivating factor. It's not just because they're black skin color. It's because of this whole blackness culture thing is out of control.
Yes. So I voted for a president that cut the deficit by 2/3 and cut unemployment in half.
But what good does
proud
that
of
do
that.
if the country's more divided and destructive because of Obama? Who cares about the money? It's not just about money.
350 million people being divided is not the fault of one person.
No, I know, but he contributed to it big time. He didn't help with the situation like Trump is.
350 million people being divided is not going to be blamed on one person, and it's not.
I didn't
even
blame
really
it on
worth
one
discussing,
person. I said that he contributed to that issue.
as well as the other 350 million people.
But Trump does not contribute to that issue. He's a uniter based on truth, rather than a divider with lies like Obama.
We can agree to disagree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed. Can I say something?
Yeah.
I noticed that every time you corner Ronnie, oh, we could agree to disagree. Oh, I'm not a racist. Oh, I'm a all lies. All lies. When he said he's a conservative,
if you accuse me of something that's not true, I'm going to point out that you're accusing me of something that's not true. I will let you be ignorant and keep thinking it, but I'm going to give you the correct information and do my due diligence.
Now, listen. You said to Haden that, you got me off track. Okay. The black people in this country that are patriotic and are trying to, work to keep the country together are called Uncle Toms. Whether it's school kids who are black kids that are trying to learn, they're called trying to be white. Okay. This is what blacks do. They guilt trip their own people, the good ones, like Chad O. Jackson, good black man. Jesse Lee Peterson, good black man. Marcus Garvey, the ones who wanted you people out of here. He was probably the greatest black man in American history. Okay? We don't want to mix with your kind. And if you don't like it, tough. That's why we had segregation, and that's why we want you people out, because you're not contributing to our future. If it wasn't for the Negroes, can you imagine how beautiful this country would be? The street in 1900, a white woman could walk down any street in America. Try it today, because they got their freedom to rape, rob, and pillage. That's what the Civil Rights Bill was all about. It was to destroy segregation and ultimately destroy the white race. The Civil Rights Movement was a communist movement inspired about 100 years ago and promoted by Jewish interests. And they wanted to mix our races and flood us with colored people so that they can overrun us. And that's exactly what's happening. Again, Ronnie, look at Chicago. Look at Baltimore. Look at Detroit, once proud white cities. What don't you see that your people have done? How are you blind to the evil that your people have perpetrated on our major cities? Okay, I'm waiting for an answer.
What makes you think I'm blind to there being evil black people in the United States and in the world? What makes you think that I'm blind to that?
I'm talking about the black people like the mayor of Chicago. I'm talking about elected officials.
I asked you a question about me. What makes you think that I don't see that stuff?
You never say anything about it. You don't. Are you okay? So you're agreeing with me that black people have destroyed our major cities? Are you agreeing with me?
No, I disagree on that. I would not blame the destruction.
You're a hypocrite.
Hold on, chill. I wouldn't blame the destruction of a city on one group of people unless you're going to be very specific.
Detroit, 1967. Newark, New Jersey.
Black people destroyed Detroit. You don't think it was the fact that manufacturing jobs got moved out of Detroit? You don't think that's what destroyed the city?
That's a phony excuse. What about Watts, California?
I asked you a yes or no question.
There was no.
I asked you a yes or no question, Mark. You don't think jobs being moved out of the city of Detroit had anything to do with this decline?
Well, the reason those jobs moved was because of black criminals.
I don't care why they moved. I'm saying, do you think that had an effect on the city's decline?
No, the reason they had the riot of 67 is because the cops were trying to arrest a black criminal, and the others ganged up on the cops, and it started a race riot. It had nothing to do with the how you're trying to change the issue here. How about Watts, California, 65? Okay, was that due to the economics? Heck, no. You can't use that fake excuse. These were based on race. They were race riots because they were based on race.
The race riots in Watts were based on race, yes.
And Detroit, and Chicago, and Cleveland, and Newark, New Jersey. Look at the summer. Hey, this is for you, too. Check out the summer of 67. These people rioted everywhere in every major city, from Dayton, Ohio to Charlotte, North Carolina. Every city in 1967, every major city, had a race riot, had race problems.
Communism.
And after 67, slowly, these black cities that were robbed and burned and looted by people not like you necessarily, Ronnie, but people with your skin tone, are now taking over those cities that they burned. In Gary, Indiana, another example. Once a proud white controlled I believe they were segregated to what it is today. Segregation was only a temporary stopgap. We need total separation. That's the only way we're going to solve the race problem. And if it takes a race war to do it, so be it. You can have your progressives on your side, Ronnie. You could see what kind of scum they are. Yeah, they're all yours. And if you say you're a conservative, please don't insult my intelligence. Please don't insult the people that are listening to this show. We know who you are. You voted for Obama.
I would never insult your intelligence, Mark. When it comes to me being a conservative, as my grandparents were, I would still be voting completely conservative across down ticket had not racist white people invaded my party.
Racist white people invaded whose party?
In the 60s and 70s, the racists from the solid South took over the Republican Party.
And the radical Negroes took over the Democrats. Negroes.
What about the radical Republicans? What about a radical Republican? What do you know about that?
No, I'm telling you right now. You said that the racist.
What do you know about a radical Republican? Is what I asked you.
A radical? What, are you going back to the Reconstruction era when your people?
What do you know about a radical Republican?
Of, the government in the South. Pardon? Say it again.
What do you know about a radical Republican?
I don't know. It could mean anything. You talking about the Reconstruction era when the radical Republicans gave Negroes the control of the government and they ruined it until the Klan had to come and liberate our white brothers? That's what happened under the Reconstruction.
Is that the radical Republicans you mean? Like the red ones?
That's just a diversion. That term, radical,
my point,
that doesn't mean
anything. My point to him was the Republican Party was founded and started in defense of black people. And
that's right.
Today in 2025 and today in 2026, it's not the same thing. In the 60s and the 70s, the solid South racist people hijacked the party.
Guys.
So when you ask me why, as a conservative, I don't just vote down ballot Republican, it's because the party was hijacked.
Okay, let me say this.
So what do you mean by racist Republicans? No. Like racist Republicans
racist
today?
Republicans? No, not racist Republicans. I said the racist people from the solid South.
And they became Republican.
They invaded the Republican Party.
They became
now,
Republican.
There are some black conservatives who are still comfortable saying, yes, I'm a proud Republican. I don't stand proudly with racist people, so you'll never hear me say I'm a proud Republican.
What's a racist who invaded the Republican Party who's here today in the Republican Party? Because you're referring to the Dixiecrats who became Republicans. Is that what you're talking about? And you're flighty about them?
My point is, when Mark accuses me of lying when I say I'm a conservative, I'm trying to give him a history lesson and let him know that dating back to the early 1600s when my people got here before his, and then to the 1800s where the Republican Party was founded, those were my people. Those people were my people.
Okay, let me say this.
I'm confused by what he means by racist. I've never heard of racists invading the Republican Party, and that's why he doesn't vote for Trump or whatever.
No, I know what he's talking about.
I said that's why I'm not you will never hear me say, yes, I'm a proud Republican.
Why don't you like racists? Why don't you support racists, so-called?
You're asking me to support evil?
No,
I'm asking you, why don't you support racists? Racists are not necessarily evil.
I don't support racists because I don't support evil.
But all racists are not evil. some people are called racist and they're
not all, but most.
What
If
he's
somebody's
really
racist, they're
saying is
evil.
all
And
white
there's too
people
many
are
of them for
evil.
me to try to identify who's the non-evil racist and who are the evil racists.
But you didn't vote for Trump. Was
Hake.
racism to have to do with that, or was it something else?
Wait, ask me that again?
You
That
didn't.
question
You
didn't make
didn't
much
vote.
sense.
Since you revealed you didn't vote for Trump, was it because of racism amongst him and or his supporters, or was it something else that made you not support him?
There are a few reasons why I didn't support
Was racism
Trump.
one of them?
Primarily going into the 2020 election, it was his failure during the last year of his administration. Had nothing to do with race.
How about the first time when you voted for Hillary over him?
I didn't vote for Hillary. I didn't vote for him.
Oh, I thought you
sat
said you
back-
did
I
vote
sat-
for Hillary.
No, I said I did not. I sat back and let the rest of the country determine what was going to happen. And,
Okay.
even still, every time
But
Trump
how about
has
you
won,
vote? You
he's
voted
won
for
Ohio.
Biden. You voted for Biden over him because he supposedly failed, and it wasn't because of racism. So racism has nothing to do with Trump. You're saying?
Correct. Now his supporters, not so much. I can't say that all of his supporters are free from racism. I'm talking to one now, and I just got off the phone with one earlier.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you support
hey,
what
listen.
Mark and Haden support?
Look,
Say that again.
Never mind.
okay, I got to say this, Hake, in regards to him talking about how the Republicans, in his words, were invaded by racists.
Yeah.
No, he's got it wrong. What happened was in the 60s, when America sold out on the Civil Rights Communist Party bill, the Civil Rights Bill, all the Republicans joined, all the Democrats in the South who, and don't forget, the Democrat Party wrote segregation laws. At one time, the Democrat Party was for white working people. But when they passed the Civil Rights Bill, the whites in the South moved to the Republican Party, and the Negroes infested the Democrat Party. And look what the Democrat Party is today. Once the party of proud white men are being ruled by AOC, this Presley demon, she's an elected official. What's the one, Omar, the demon?
Yeah, that's my question there, Ronnie. Like, if you believe racism exists, it's primarily and most openly and viciously against white people, and it's clear from Obama on down, and yet you supported Obama twice. That's so crazy to me.
So voting for Obama twice doesn't mean that I support or vote for or even I'm on the same page as the Democrats.
No, I know, but you supported Obama twice and Biden, and Biden and Obama were both very racist against white people.
Me voting for Obama in 2008 and then again in 2012 has nothing to do with Ilhan Omar, who wasn't in office.
No, I know, but I'm talking about the anti... I don't care about that.
Let me finish. Or Ayanna Presley, who also wasn't in office.
I know, but Biden
they
were there when Biden was there.
Point at me and then ask me to speak on all of it. It's just dumb.
No, I know, but Biden was, when Biden came around, all three of those crazy ladies were in office and supporting, pushing him even further anti-white.
They supported Obama.
Do you have a problem with the attack upon whites? Because you've acknowledged there is an attack upon whites. Evidently, you don't see that attack didn't see it from Obama back when you voted for him twice, or with Biden.
I did not see Obama being president as an attack on white people.
No. He was anti-white. He was clearly anti-white, and so was
I didn't see him as
Biden.
being anti-white. I would think somebody that's anti-white would have a completely different looking cabinet than he had.
No, he was very anti-white. Of course, no, that doesn't make sense. You don't make sense.
Okay,
You're acting like white people. You're pretending like white people are not anti-white. Hold on. You're pretending like white people are not anti-white. That's ridiculous.
I'm glad we can agree on that. That people who are anti-white come from all different races.
Of course.
I'm glad we can agree on that.
Yeah. So why are you pretending like his cabinet was not anti-white?
Speaking as somebody that's not anti-white, I'm so confused as to why you guys keep asking me to speak for other anti-white people.
No, but you voted for anti-white people.
That you're accusing of being anti-white.
You voted for a Biden who ran on an anti-white platform.
His platform was not anti-white.
Yes, it was. His whole basis for running was because of the white supremacists.
That's right. That's right.
It was fake.
That doesn't make it an anti-white platform.
It's
It
among
makes it
it's
an
among what made it
anti-racist
anti-white. He was also
platform.
for anti-racist is
There's a
anti-white.
difference between being anti-racist and being anti-white.
Not
There's a
really.
Oh,
difference.
there's a big difference. Can
Not
I speak
particularly.
now?
Hake said there's no difference, and Mark said there's a big difference.
No. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
first of all, the word racist has been perverted by people like Ronnie. A racist is somebody who loves his race and wants to preserve it, not the tone of opprobrium that this guy gives it.
Right.
Okay, the term racist was invented by a communist Jew under Stalin, and it was used to instill a guilt in the white man. It ain't going to work with me. I'm proud of my white ancestors. I'm proud of segregation, and I'm proud of being a racist. Okay, what's your answer to that?
And then we got to go.
Being ethnocentric does not make you racist. So you can be
Well,
proud
whatever.
of your race.
No, if you're proud of your race,
Lord, chill.
and you
being
wanna-
proud of
and
your
you
race
wanna
does not
preserve
make you
it-
racist. You're
No,
not
if you're
racist
proud of
until
your
you hate
race, by
other
your
people
standards.
that aren't your race, and then you have the power to deploy that hate. That's what makes somebody a racist. Not being proud of who they are.
No. You're confusing the term.
You just told me that you're racist because you're proud of being white, and I said that's called being ethnocentric. That's not
what
called
you
being
call
racist.
it. That's your word, not mine. The word racist.
I didn't make up none of those words. You just told me that the word racist was made up by a communist Jew. I'm not a communist Jew.
Hey, Ronnie, just look it up. Look it up. You'll see
you
where
look
the
up
racist came from.
ethnocentric, look up bigot, because you're definitely a bigot, and then look up
That's a
racist.
name
I don't think you
calling.
really
All
have
he
the
does
power
is
to be
name
racist.
call.
But
Hey,
all right,
how many names did he call? He called me dumb. He called me ignorant. And
I
now
didn't call you dumb. I said you were being stupid earlier.
No, that's the same thing.
That doesn't mean you're stupid. If you're acting stupid or being stupid, there's a difference.
Me a bigot.
All right, guys, I got to wrap it up.
No, he just called me a bigot.
I'm sorry the shoe fits, and if your feelings got hurt, I apologize.
I'm used to your kind. Believe
me. When you look up the definition of the word bigot, you'll see a picture of yourself.
Look at the word stupid with a low IQ, and your face is in the dictionary under that term. Low IQ.
I looked it up earlier, and it was a picture of Haden.
Yeah,
I gotta go, guys. Fun, very fun. I like the last minute snipes. It's amusing somewhat, but take care, y'all. Both.
Thanks, God bless America.
All right.
Love you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Whew. Oops. I accidentally got the click there. OLAV in Norway. I don't know if he's been patient, but he's been on hold forever. What's up, OLAV?
Hey, what's going on? You all right?
Doing fine. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was a long conversation.
Yeah. Pardon me.
Yeah. No worries. But I actually just wanted to say something quick. But I've been on hold for some time, so I might as well just punch you with everything I got. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So listen. I actually told Derek about a possible like a discussion or something that you guys can have tomorrow on Punchie TV.
Oh, will it be tomorrow for you? Because just in a few hours is Punchie TV.
Really?
Yep.
Are you sure?
2 p.m. today. Punchie TV.
Forgot. But listen, I've got a banging discussion for you guys, either today or some other time. Listen, which is the biggest threat to the West, or the bigger threat to the West? Islam or Zionism or Israel, or
interesting,
something like that.
All right, interesting topic of discussion. Thank you, sir.
All right, but also I just wanted to comment on the OJ and MJ thing.
OJ Simpson and Michael Jackson, whether each is innocent or guilty, or was.
Yeah,
they're both gone.
I mean, listen. So I don't know much about the OJ case, but I know that OJ ghost wrote a book called "If I Did It." Now I don't. Why would he even involve himself in something like that if he really was innocent?
Yeah,
I have absolutely. No, he didn't. Apparently, he was a ghostwriter, so I'm not sure about that. I mean, it wasn't like all right, whatever. But then you've got MJ. So here you have a person who owns a fairy tale theme park mansion, and he's an adult in his 30s. And in that mansion, of course, he's got pornographic magazines.
Ooh, really?
And
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
but just
And
because he
during
has
the-
them in there, does he showing kids
No,
that?
listen.
All right.
And during the investigation into him in 2005, they found fingerprints of some of the younger kids who were over on the magazines. And I'm wondering, like, all right, well, let's play the devil's advocate here. Like, they just went up
That's
and
not
found
right.
the magazines and they
Yeah.
looked at it. No. Yeah. But, you know, I'm thinking, all right, well, this guy keeps his bedroom open. That's one thing. But, you know, this grown man, obviously, who's in, I don't know, his 30s or something, keeping pornographic magazines. All right, now, you know, you kind of established that you're not that.
And where did you get that information? Do you remember?
It was from Wikipedia.
Oh, Wikipedia said
But
that
I
he.
already heard it like before.
Okay.
But what I want to say, is that even just having those kids over, knowing that, it's just like, what the hell, man? I don't know. It's just, even if he didn't do it and all that, like, it's just kind of, I don't feel like having those kids over should, I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird.
Okay.
It's not that, I don't think that's something a grown, at least a grown man who's keeping like pornographic magazines and doesn't lock his door, you know what I mean?
Understood. Yep, understood.
I want to ask you about...
Shame on the parents,
Matthew.
I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to ask you... I actually want to ask you a biblical question. I'm taking this to Jesse, but I want to ask you too because why not? Matthew 5:7. Have you read Matthew 5:7?
I'm sure I have, but I can't call it to mind off the bat.
But
blessed are the
it's that
merciful,
verse.
for they shall obtain mercy.
Well, oh no, it's the wrong verse.
No?
No, I'm thinking about the Matthew verse where Jesus talks about if you just focus enough, you can move mountains. You remember that verse?
Okay. Faith to move mountains. Not focus, but faith.
Yeah, if you have faith enough, you can move mountains.
Yeah. Matthew
so
maybe 17:20 or 21, 20, 21. Go ahead.
What are your 2 cents on that verse? What does that mean? What does that verse mean?
Let us see here. Matthew 17:20. Matthew 17:20. 21 to 22. Jesus answered them, English Standard Version. Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to the fig tree, curse the fig tree and it'll wither, but even if you say to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, it will happen. Whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith. And Matthew 17:20 says something like, I don't know what. Can you just give me the quote? The Hake. What in the world? Because you have so... Let's read the NIV since it's quicker. Because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was talking metaphorically or really or what. I don't really have a take on it.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
how about you?
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure I don't have a take since I don't know.
No, but all right. But if you don't have a take, what does it mean?
That's what I mean is I don't know what it means.
You don't know what it means?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's the case, that was really all I wanted to ask.
Did you have any understanding about it or take on it?
I mean, all I know is that it's true what he says, that if you believe in something enough, it will happen. I do know that that's true. So I I don't know if there's something else to it. If there's more of like, all right, like, because we want a lot of things, right? Like, things that we don't understand. And I'm just thinking, all right, well, maybe I'm wanting something that, maybe I don't need, or maybe I don't, something. I don't know.
Yeah. Right on. I like that though. It's a fair point that about what you believe as a big power over you and over your life, and things that you do and things that happen.
Yeah, sure. But also, I just want to say one quick thing, because if you're going to discuss the Islam versus Zionism or something thing,
yes, sir.
I just have one thing that might be nice to know, because I mean, at this point, at least anyone who knows about U.S. politics right now knows that there's a lot of like anti-Israel, blah blah blah, and I'm not getting into it because I know you guys pay a lot of money to Israel. But what I do want to say is that when it comes to Islam, there is a rule of abrogation, which means that what you say later cancels out what is said in the past. And the thing about this in Islam is that the Quran today isn't in a chronological order. So in the original chronological Quran, the last chapter is chapter 9, and in this chapter, in chapter 9, verse 5, you can see that Muhammad is talking about slaying the unbelievers wherever you find them. And I think that's interesting because when you look at that rule, it basically says that's the first and foremost commandment in that religion. And I think it's interesting because I don't think many people know that. So, it's in chapter 9. That's the chronologically last verse in the Quran. Chapter 9, and then you got verse. I think there's something else too, but I'm not going to get into it. But listen, I just wanted to say thank you for listening, and I want to wish you a happy Punchie, I guess.
Thank you, sir. Much
All right,
appreciated.
but I want to. Yeah. You guys have fun.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Before I get back to your calls, y'all, actually, let me get to Art. I got to get to Art in Ohio. Art. Thanks for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
Hey, man, don't do me like that, bro. Why you trying to hit? You trying to hit me with the Allen Iverson move, man? You trying to do the little crossover move behind the back, between the arms?
Break your ankles.
Man, you breaking my ankles, man.
I know.
So first thing first, brother. Hey, how the Negroes came over here on slave ships with the who was that? Was it the settlers or the people before that? Long story short, they was European.
Yeah.
Or
yes.
whatnot.
Right.
So how can you get rid of the Negroes off of the American continent without getting rid of the white people?
That's I see what you're saying. The Haden's argument, I'm sure, and I understand his argument, and I have some sympathy towards his argument, is that the white people established a white country for white people, and they're like, now we have this Negro slave problem. This is a problem. What are we going to do? They're here. They're with us. We brought them. What are we going to do? But this is not for them. And so the country is for the whites, and then we have you guys here, and you guys been with us forever. What do we do? So I sympathize with both sides of the argument. And to Haden's point, and I think you agree, so many of the black Americans with a long ancestry here that we brought over our parents or granddaddies and their whatever, they've become severely anti-American and anti-white, and so that's why I sympathize with his argument. I don't think that it's realistic.
I mean, you can if you want to be the new black victim, if you want to be the white victimhood
right.
type of person. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But we operating in logic over here in the fish stink from the head. You see what I'm saying?
What do you think about? Would you ever tell a black fellow American in a whatever to go back if they don't like it here? You don't like it here, even though they have several generations, maybe tens and dozens of generations here. Tell them go back to Africa. Would you ever tell somebody like that go back to Africa if you hate it here so much because they hate white people?
Yeah, I wouldn't tell them to go back to Africa. I just tell them to get out of America.
Yeah.
It ain't even about you. Ain't even got to go back to Africa. You just don't need to be in America.
Right.
If you anti-America and you just don't like the white man or the black man, or you just don't like Americans, period, you just don't need to be over here.
Yeah.
But ain't no, But I mean, that's how I would look at it. But I'm just saying though, it starts from somewhere. You see what I'm saying?
It does.
Okay.
And you know what Haden and the other wise man, Mark, if you will, what they hearken back to is like the origins, the founders who had what you could say is a sensible immigration policy in terms of bringing in only, as not immigration, but as citizenship, only the white men of good character. And
yeah.
I understand that. I agree with that. I like that. But what the reality is today is that's long gone. And, with Trump and with our future president, maybe we can get a little bit of common sense back and decency and national integrity. Because the integrity of the country, meaning the structural integrity of the country, is dilapidated. It's falling apart. It's a very divided country on purpose for many generations. I mean, ever since the Civil War and before that, I guess, because if the country was divided enough to go to civil war, then
well, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you think that everybody everybody is cool and it's cool for everybody to be American.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it's being a flood of people just being coming over here
with no loyalty or love for one another.
And they don't, both basically, yes, exactly with you. They don't have no love and loyalty.
Yeah.
America has incentivized them to come over here and basically take advantage of it. Go ahead, I'm listening to you. You're right, though. Go ahead, I'm listening. You're right.
No, that's it. That's all that's the real, that's like the underlying issue.
So my thing is like this. Okay, with Saddam, when we went over there to fight Saddam, it was, and I remember this, somebody was talking about it on the show or whatnot, and they made a good point, and it made me remember. I'm like, dang, I do remember hearing about that when I was a kid. They was pushing propaganda on TV or whatnot in the 90s saying that Saddam was going in the hospital throwing babies on the floor and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was like a Saudi princess faker, and it fooled people. I heard about that.
Yeah. And
it was completely fake news.
Yeah, and we go ahead. Yeah.
So
that's exactly what happened. And that's when we went over there and we got into and that's how we basically got into that war. Because it wasn't just that; it was other things that they were saying that he was doing too. But I do remember the babies thing they were saying but it was other propaganda they was pushing out saying that he was doing, but he wasn't really doing. And I'm saying that to say the Negro didn't have nothing to do with that. The Negro slaves that came over here on the slave ships didn't have nothing to do with that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, and that's why I always try to tell you or whatnot. That's why I talk my stuff about the black people, because I'm going to try to get my people together, and you going to get your people together. You see what I'm saying? But you sitting over here saying and playing the victimhood, like, oh, the white man this and the white man that. No, it's about the man, period. It started somewhere, and the attack started on the black man back in the 60s to break us down so they can come to get you, the white man. That's where it all started from. to break the black man down so that once we weaken him down or whatnot, we'll go get the white man. And they use the female to do that. And the reason why they use the females because they know the female ain't gonna stand up for nothing. The only thing you got to do is give her some money and instill fear in her, and she's gonna shut up and go along with the plan. That's the whole point of them putting the female in front of the man, in front of the black man from the start. So then but basically what you do is that you got within the turns end up happening is that it takes over. It's like a cancer. It takes over your house. Then you got the mom saying, "Don't talk to my son like that. Oh, you hit him too hard when he was playing football. Oh, he can't be out there shooting a BB." You basically soften them down. And of course, the Muslims and every other anti-American that don't like America will want that because they want you to keep softening your generation of men down to where they don't want to fight. They don't want to stand up and speak up for themselves because they got to ask their mama, can they talk? Or they got to ask another female that they work with, can they talk? So don't keep trying to say, what we need to figure out is why we got all these, Mark, this directed towards Mark, because truth be told, we want these white babies to be had, but it ain't going to be no white babies to be had if all of them is out here catching terrorist charges because they all in Minnesota and all over these other liberal countries catching terrorist charges to where they ain't going to never be able to go get no federal jobs or whatnot. They out here wasting their time of getting thrown on the ground, knees and backs all hurt or whatnot, wasting all their time when you supposed to be out here trying to find a man and being submissive and being agreeable instead of y'all can't even get the white females to do that. So what I'm basically saying is you worried about trying to tell me about how bad the blacks is, and I get it. I understand it. I know. I be around them. I used to sell drugs in the neighborhood all day from the sun up to the sun down. Used to start drinking from 12 at noon at the trap house. At the trap house, where I don't know if Mark know where the trap house where they cook up crack. That's the trap house. So you ain't got to tell me that. You ain't got to tell me nothing about how the blacks be. I've been around them. You see what I'm saying? So I know the dysfunction. But what we trying to figure out is how the people that's running the country that allegedly started the name America, they own females are trying to get their own men killed.
Yeah,
that's what we talking about. I already know. I've been saying it. We already know the black female, the Negro, not the Somalian, not the African, not the Afghani, not Saddam. We talking about the Negro. Put a name and a face on it, and when you do it, make sure you correct about what you're doing it with. Just the same way you say, "Hey man, I'm Irish." Art.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You representing your culture. And you know how Mark don't know what he's talking about. You can just look at it. If me and the Africans are we the same people, why when they come over here we don't hang around with them? You see what I'm saying? If the Somalians, we all the same people. Why when they come over to America they get in their own little groups and they try? They know we ain't the same people. You should. I don't know if Mark done. I don't know. He need to watch more videos. Everybody know we ain't. So I'm just saying. Don't get confused with when you saying Negroes and the Somalis. Just because you think that we came from the same continent, we two different people. We don't look alike, talk alike, don't walk alike. I mean, they might talk alike because they basically indoctrinated. But yeah, go ahead. I'm just you go.
I got to run, Art, man. I have to cut things short because I went so long with those guys. So I got to keep it moving. Thank you for your call.
Do your thing. I'll catch you later.
All right. Guys, let me get to these super chats, and then I shall get to all of your calls that I possibly can. Okay? That okay with you? Popcorn, I answered that question. C. Bill, I answered yours, I believe. He said the Democrats need open borders in order to win elections. Pure evil. Greggatron said later yesterday, not too late. Thank you, Hake, for letting me be a part of your little network. That's cool. Also, special thank you to Alan for the kind words that made my day. I can't find that shirt anymore. Never, 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 ever, 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 but never tell a woman your problems. Maybe unchristian forces are trying to censor it. Yeah. Lastly, shout out to all my friends Chris, Walking Roscoe, Terry C, South Sweet Amy, Artie Art, Golden Rule, Thor Mode number 9, and all the rest of the good people. This is Greggatron. Very nice. Popcorn. As more and more video footage of suspected illegal immigrants being detained by ICE surfaces online, I can't help but wonder if these operations are actually targeting individuals known to have committed violent crimes, or if it's simply were you born here suspicion. Do we know? A non-Hispanic person who is here illegally has virtually no chance of being detained by ICE, claims Popcorn. If you're a Canadian, I don't know if that's true or not, okay? If you're a Canadian who is here illegally, you're probably safe. Justify that however you'd like, claims Popcorn. I don't support illegal immigration. What I will say, though, is that these deportation efforts were pitched as we are going after the worst of the worst, not show me your papers. In reality, that doesn't matter to some people. They associate danger and violence with people here from Mexico, legal or illegal, regardless of what the state stats show. So they love the show me your papers routine. They get that thrill that Jesse talks about when they see that, claims Popcorn. How long before ICE starts hosting Family Day, where people can bring their kids down to detention facility and watch people being ushered in for processing as some guy with a clipboard points out all the details and hands out brochures. A fake alarm goes off and a bunch of agents, quote unquote, hop into their cars and speed off just for some razzle-dazzle. I'm in my imagination, but I bet someone went, I'd totally buy a ticket for that, LOL. Cue the Jurassic Park lawyer saying, which I haven't seen that movie yet, we're going to make a, I have seen one of the sequels. We're going to make a fortune off this place. By the way, round up the lady doing DoorDash and housekeeping just to keep her head above water while you're at it. Get her out of here too. Quote, and he's quoting, you know, this in theory. A theater with real consequences. That's how I view it. A spectacle for public consumption. Indeed. Obama's situation with the ICE, I think there were worse situations with ICE. And the difference was that it wasn't on camera as much. The media wasn't highlighting it. And the authorities were cooperating and letting them into the jails if they wanted to go into the jails. I heard that that Obama wasn't going into the jails as much. Trump is being disallowed from going into the jails. That's what I heard. But anyway, a spectacle for public consumption, a warm and fuzzy that has political benefit at the polls, nothing actually meaningful at scale, alleges Popcorn. Jesse's guest, John Fugelsang, who totally rolled him, by the way, never seen Jesse not in control of an interview like that, claims Popcorn, brought up a good point. This is Popcorn writing, of course. Why haven't you seen any of the CEOs of companies who hire people who are here illegally charged and perp walked out of their office? I don't know if you have or haven't. Jesse switched gears when that question was asked, but I contend that it's because there are certain people you can mess with and certain people you can't. What are your thoughts? Asks Popcorn. And unfortunately, Popcorn, I'm in a bit of a rush, so I'm not able to spend as much time with you as I would like because I wanted to be fair to everybody. And I was too fair with the people who were on the phone too long. So my apologies for that. But you're getting propaganda, Popcorn. Don't fall for the propaganda. I get your suspicions and questions and things. You can look into it if you're really concerned. But a lot of this is propaganda. I mentioned that Obama was doing the same, but he had free reign and got away with a lot of, you know, mistaken identities and all kinds of things. John Fugelsang did not, in my view, bring up a good point with that. Because when I worked alongside people whom I believe were illegals, they had their I-9s. A lot of these employers, CEOs of big companies, their illegals have I-9s. And I-9 is a federal form that says that you have a right to be here. And, you know, all these people have their fraudulently documented things. So your little communist, oh, what about the rich criminals, I'm not falling for it. I would love to perp walk the Republicans and Democrats who contributed to allowing this to happen. And yes, even CEOs, if CEOs were in on it. Ego is real with a super chat here. Old topics. Ardeen wanted evidence of an agenda, yet her motivation to teach improper things to children is evidence. Likewise, Popcorn's thump keg argues those against reparations are hypocrites because they'd take the money, which is evidence that reparations are a bad idea. Besides, it seems dumb not to take advantage of a government program that benefits you as ineffective as an ineffective moral stance when others will just get more of what you don't get. Says ego is real. Yeah. I don't know if I read that very well. Ego is real. Pardon me. Where did I leave off? I don't know if BBQ Pringle over here. Chris says, heck yeah, except he didn't say heck. I knew Ronnie was conservative. I asked Ronnie if he feels the culture in the black community needs to change. I've always said the hood culture is what makes them look bad. It's not just the hood culture, man. If they carried conservative values, most of their problems would go away, says Chris on Buy Me a Coffee. BBQ Pringle, women, minorities, and gays want to destroy the white males. White males are the least aware, which makes no sense. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Without white males, the infrastructure will collapse. Let's see how this inevitably plays out, says BBQ Pringle. Yeah, they help make things work, but they just don't vote the way or support the nonsense that they support. You know, the whites, the males. Ronnie has a good point that I barely heard because Mark was talking over him, like liberals do, says Chris. White people do need to get the white liberal woman and beta males under control. They're the ones who will continue to vote for the downfall of America. Without them, there wouldn't be enough votes for Dems. Deport all liberal white women. Hashtag. This is Chris. BBQ Pringle. Since 1960, blacks have killed over 250,000 whites. 250,000. White to black, around 100,000. So they've killed 2.5 times more. That means per capita, blacks are 10 times more likely to kill whites than vice versa, than whites are to kill blacks. 50 times more likely to kill a cop. More incest, according to FBI stats. More crime per capita. Highest STD rates like syphilis. Lower IQ, etc. They're the lowest statistic on all stats. Google is trying to cover it up. They have contributed nothing, especially without the white man's help. They're not proud and never will be. Black men need white men to save them, which we already have. They are planning the takeover. They have the S sex with young white males all over the net. We get it. White men has what they want and a need. Oh, white man has what the blacks want and need. They cannot even conceptualize uniting the black race. They know they destroy. Don't let them fool ya. BBQ Pringle. Chris, what in the Piers Morgan is going on at the Hake report? Laughing face with tears coming out. Things are getting a little messy over there, Hake. Indeed, they are. Haden in Texas says, Hake, you should play this at the end of the show. And it's a Rockwell clip, I purport. And he gives a fist bump emoji. I'll have to check that out, Haden. We'll have to see what I can do. BBQ Pringle, faith means walking in the ways of death. Jesus meant give up everything for the will of God, and you can form new nations. You're referring to the move mountains thing, huh? Let me open up the thing that he wanted to share. Rockwell interview, CBC interview, 1965, George Lincoln Rockwell. Smoking his pipe there. I'll repost it. Reposts are not endorsements nor opposition, all right? Generally said stuff that seemed accurate from what I heard. The limited exposure I have. Lord have mercy. Cesar, sub, hey, what a show today. By the way, thank you, BBQ Pringle, about the faith thing. Giving up everything. Cesar or Cesar, 3 coffees, sub, hey, what a show today. Quadruple exclamation mark. If I can add my own twist to what Haden proposed when it comes to the black Americans in the United States, or the blacks in the United States, not necessarily just Americans who are black, because they're non-Americans. I believe they have the right to exist here, but I also, the majority of the difference of different ethnic groups in America don't want the majority of blacks to be here anymore. It's because of all the other ethnic groups and even some black people cannot exist with them in the same social setting. I've seen plenty of Dominicans in their third world country behave more civil. Are Dominicans third world? I thought that was just Haiti. Haiti's more third world. Dominican Republic is a little bit less so. It's more civilized. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But behave more civil than most blacks here, says Cesar. Now, I do agree that not all blacks have to leave, but 98% do. In your dreams, man. I mean, I would love it, but they don't want that. Whatever. They've never had it so good, and I think that they know that. Mark, Ronnie, yin and yang, literally. I think it's yin and yang. But yeah. Lastly, to add my own twist on OLAV's idea for the Punchie show, what is the biggest threat to America? The tiny beanies, the pork haters, or the blacks? If you could, Hake, can you answer that one? LOL. I would say the hatred within. Because you overcome the hatred within and the fear within, the emotions within, you can become powerful like Trump. And even perhaps like our future president. And then you won't be controlled by any of those people. You will be able to overcome and confound and even win some of them over. And those whom you don't win over, even they shall fall. If you could, Hake, can you answer that one? That was my best thing, because I couldn't say that it's any one of them. They're all a major problem. The Muslims, because they're multiplying like crazy, taking over. The blacks, because the crime and the kissing up is out of control. The kissing up towards them and the crime, and not just the crime, but just the malice and ridiculousness. And they're in leadership positions. It's crazy. And then, of course, they are tools of the very unchristian, anti-Christian unchristians, Jewish people, shout out. And they're like a mess too. But they're the most stable mess. So I vote the Jews can stay because they're a stable mess. They're more like white adjacent, even though they're kind of anti-white, but they're more like civilized white. I mean, just look at Israel and look at their neighborhoods, Jewish neighborhoods around here. They're more functional than and I don't know, they're just more, we work better together. Just look into it. Even though they're unchristian and they're kind of pervy and stuff, I don't like it. Next time, Hake and Hakesters, seriously though, great show. Okay sign and black clapping. Those are the coffees. I'll refresh just to make sure. buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. I have some others, these YouTube super chats, a whole bunch. Let me zoom out a little here and read it once again. Moses Prop saying, what is this guy talking about? Talking about Haden. The whites gave their country away. It's not a black or white thing. It's a sin and hate issue. If he listened to Jesse, he would not be talking like this. Moses says, B. Nice. Good word there, B. And LOL, Mark, gotta relax. Call Jesse and drop your hate. I love Mark, says Moses. He actually thinks the world would be better without blacks. Not true, because the evil hearts of men would let that happen. They would go to war with each other. Indeed, same with the Jewish people. People are like, oh, I want to get rid of them all. That's an R-word take. Because then, like, the evil is inside of you by then. Walking Roscoe with the salute emoji. Thank you, sir. And I did see from Animus on Streamlabs. The other day I had to pay... Oh, no, hold on. Animus says, I don't get why right-wingers don't like Israel. They are ethno-nationalists. They love their religion. They build for themselves. Epstein is a gigachad in terms of his understanding. Was. Not anymore. He is no more. I don't know where he is, but he's no longer Epstein. He's a soul somewhere, I imagine, or a spirit somewhere, perhaps. I aspire to be him in that way. What's your take on that? Take care. I've only heard him speak for the first time on Sunday. I heard him talking about women and talking on Steve Bannon, of all people's podcast, in 2019. That was not a 60 Minutes episode. That was Steve Bannon. You know, the guy from Breitbart. Steve Bannon interviewed JLP. Interesting. So, yeah, he did seem like an interesting guy, although because he was like a Jewish liberal, he hated Trump. And it wasn't just because of that. He had like a personal friendship that went sour in 2004 that culminated him getting kicked out of his Trump's club in 08, 07, 08 or 9 or whatever. And so he is a hater. And, you know, being an intellectual like he was, he didn't see Trump's true good man simplicity, if you will. The other day, says Animus, I had to pay 4,000 euros, I heard they're pronounced, for a Hitler salute that I made to spite some Antifa guys attacking me. That's how it is in Germany. So you made one that was sort of like a presumably sort of ironic, just to mock them, and you got trouble because Antifa were being evil. That's what happens. You got to be perfect. I love how Trump is petty towards these European quote-unquote leaders so that my people wake up. If the U.S. goes, it is over for us. Thank you, Animus. Wow. Well, y'all, make sure you do catch American Anchor, baby. Lord have mercy. That was a mouthful of all your supers, coffees, supers, Streamlabs. Right? Thank you kindly. I want to get to Jeff in Louisiana in the last couple of minutes here. Been on hold so long. What's up, Jeff?
Not much, man. I'll make it quick. I just want to say everybody's like, I listen to Mark and Ronnie go back and forth. Everybody's more like black and white. The real threat's going to be Chinese. They're coming over here on vacation, having kids, getting birthright citizenship, then going back to China.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So in 40, 50 years, we're going to have a Chinese person run for president and billionaires from China backing them.
Yup. It's crazy, man.
I mean, you know, just you got to look at what's the biggest threat to the country, and that's the biggest threat.
Yeah. Fair point, man.
Okay, man.
Thank
I
you,
ain't
sir.
going to hold you up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bye. Yeah, and China is making fun of us. They're coming up with silly memes. Hunt that blackie. Jeff, Louisiana, China. And they don't, another dishonest people. Shout out. What a mess. All right, y'all. And I have a little bit more time here, but let me just bear with me. I might have one more minute for one more caller. Jaime, Minnesota. Jaime, go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, Hake?
Going well, thank you.
Hey, I wanted to talk real quick about the conversation that you guys have had. A comment John from Kentucky had made was about, he asked you if you think he'll ever go back to Africa.
Right.
And that kind of idea. And it made me think for a while about the Hebrews in Germany during World War II and the gypsies and the homosexuals and the very few black people that were there. And they had their citizenship, their German citizenship, stripped from them.
Wow, yeah.
And it made me think about that. And, you know, things are getting hot out here, you know, politically.
Yeah.
Either side could get it. Mark could get it.
That's true.
Ronnie could get it. Anybody.
Yeah, there's major persecution on ready to drop on anybody.
Back in those days,
I got to wrap it up, man.
Yeah, that was just a little thing for Ronnie, John, Mark. think about.
Much appreciated, sir. Take care.
But I'll call back tomorrow.
Sounds good, man.
Bye.
Bye. And Rick in Hampton, VA, and the rest of the callers, peace in the Middle East. And y'all catch Anchor, baby, here. Bye.